Hey, everybody. I'm Kelly Ellers,
I'm Jeffrey London.
and this is Volume Up by the Tees. All right, Jeff, what have you been up to?
So, big travel for us. We've been all over the place. We're back from the UK, which crazy. How did this
Hmm.
happen? But I'm gonna be going on another plane very quickly here to Premiere Orlando, specifically for NAHA. Obviously for other things, but we will be at the NAHA red carpet again. So I'm
We'll
excited
be
to
there.
be seeing a lot of our listeners in person. And then if I don't see you at NAHA, then hopefully I see you on the floor at Premiere. So that's really what I've been up to mentally preparing to be in person with so many people. I'm an introvert. I don't love that, but here we are.
Yeah, and you're like a double whammy. Like,
Sure
woo!
am. Just getting all in, getting all my people time.
I thought, I'm just going to keep a suitcase packed just in case. Like
It's probably
something comes up
easier at this point.
again.
It's just like it just happened. It was like a run. But then it
It's a
sort of
run.
dies down again. So anyway, it's yeah. What about you? What you are not joining me at Premiere, which is a bummer, but what are you up to in these next few weeks?
I think it's just, winding down the old school
Oh
calendar,
God, yeah. I
winding
hadn't
up
even
the
thought
old
about that one.
summer calendar. I mean, we get out
Summer
early.
camps. Ugh.
Do you have a visceral reaction to summer camp?
I don't love them. We've signed up. The only one that we're waiting for is do we get into a horse camp at the end of the summer? So
Yes, I want to go to the horse camp.
I want to go too.
I mean, you know me. I love a derby horse. I love a you name it.
Mm.
Oh, yeehaw. I hope that for the girls that they are yeehawing into June, into July in that California heat.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Hopefully they stay hydrated. But yeah, big summer right around the corner. Terrifying. Where does the time go?
I
All
know.
right.
Here we
Well,
are.
yeah, here we are. Look, before we get too far down the road, something that's just happened was the Gold House Gala, something that's
Yep.
popped off in recent times. So all of the celebrity hair looks that we're going to be talking about now are specific to that event. So just happened in the past, but here we are.
All
We can't
right.
talk about the Naha looks yet because we're not there. So, all right, let's do it.
All right.
First up, Megan Thee Stallion. Go, Kelly. What are we doing?
Megan Thee Stallion has kept her sort of coppery locks from the Met Gala. They're
Hmm.
still here, and I'm still liking them. But she's just for this one, just got a little bit of a slick back pony, which, also a little bit of a visceral reaction. But I get it for this because the look, the look is a
The Luke.
lot.
It's
The
yeah.
look is a lot, and the hair needed to be more minimalistic. So slick back, little
Would
bit of a
you would
bun
call this
action.
this minimalistic?
The hair?
You think? This little Okay, keep going, keep
Well, there's
going.
a little woof on the top.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
yeah, I do. Only because I liken slick back hair to minimalistic because
Sure.
it takes effort, but
Hmm.
for myself, it takes the least amount of effort. So I go, just throw a pony back, which I actually don't ever do anyway. So
Mm-hmm.
what are we feeling? What are we feeling?
Oh, well, I'd like to point out that this bun is sort of shaped similar to the dress, which looks a
Oh,
little bit like inner tubes.
like two of them, one
Yeah,
above sort
one
of the
above the bust.
and one right at the waistline.
Yeah,
So
so and then the hair is sort of mimicking that shape. Um, yeah, I like the color. The style is different. So I'm gonna give it like a 7. It's
fine.
yeah, it's
I'm gonna give it a 6.
okay. Okay, so a little bit.
Map,
We've seen
map.
stronger hairstyles. But this is interesting. We encourage you to take a look at the pics. We'll drop them somewhere, so hopefully you can take a look.
Do
All right.
you ever think that our ratings depend on our personal moods?
Very possibly. I
I'm like,
just this
woof,
one.
meh.
Yeah, yeah, it is what it is.
I'm gonna get it
Okay.
together. Get it together.
Yep. Next, her.
H
What?
period E period R. Her.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
How do we feel about this look?
I think it's a beautiful sort of blown out sort of waves. You can
Hmm.
tell that they were kind of tucked together and now combed out. And I
Hmm.
think it looks beautiful because
Hmm.
I like that. I like those waves. I like the big hair. I think it works with the dress because the hair needed to be a little bit more of a statement
Hmm.
than her sort of simplistic, sort of long gown. What about you?
I like this one. I think similarly, sort of middling, like I think a 7, a 6, maybe.
All
Um,
right.
pretty for her. I like the color. I'm just gonna keep saying that. I like the color. Shout out to these hair colorists. Um, the shape is beautiful. I mean, like we love mega
Yeah.
volume. We're getting that. She's sort of known for it, so it's not that much of a departure. The color's a little bit lighter than we normally see with her. So again, like a 7, and that's a nice rating. That's not bad.
It's a
This
nice
isn't
rating because
bad.
we're not setting the world on fire with this look. So it's
No.
a nice rating. I'm gonna give it a 6. We're right
Okay.
in there.
Yeah.
We're feeling the
Yeah.
same.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Next up, we've got Haley Kiyoko. How would you describe this look?
This again for me, a little bit of it kind of looks like Megan the Stallion's look, to be honest, doesn't it?
It does.
Like a
Yeah.
lot. So again, we've got sort of a slick back. We've got a couple tendrils in the front, and then we
Mhm.
have just a little woof, just a little piece back here that's kind of sticking up to one side, just kind of a swatch of hair. It's an interesting choice. I don't know how you came up with this look.
I don't like this at all.
The hair kind
I'm
of looks like a feather in the back, like it's
yeah, like a frond. Um,
oh, a frond.
I don't, it's like a half up sort of slick back. I don't like this at all.
Yeah,
Wow, wow, wow. The more that I'm looking at it, the
it's not
less I like
awesome.
it. There's like, are these braid? Is this a braid?
Yeah, there's tiny, tiny, tiny
Yeah.
braids that are the tendrils. And so I think I have PTSD from tendrils because I was
Yeah.
like a 80s, 90s gal where you're just like
Mhm.
one here and
Mhm.
one there. And I think I just can't get behind that
She's
look.
giving us
So
that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We got
I'm gonna give it a
teeny.
3.
Yeah, I'm with you, Kelly. This is real low. Yeah, like a 2 or 3. This
Yeah,
is like
it's a miss.
possibly one of my least favorite looks ever. Sorry to that woman and her team. Sometimes we miss.
We
Sometimes we
do.
miss,
It's a
right?
journey. It's a
Yeah.
journey.
Let's keep it moving. We don't want to dwell. And last, we've got Auli'i Kravalu. This is Moana to all of the parents out there, gang. Voice of. Describe this hairstyle, if you could, Kelly. She made the big chop recently, so this is a grow out situation, but
Yeah, it's a girl. She made the chop. It's sort of chin length. We've got a
uh-huh.
little bit of a shorter bang area. And then we have a little bit of fringe in the back that's flipped just
Uh-huh.
ever
This
so
reminds me of
slightly.
your college picks.
It
This
does.
this cut, I'm like, I mean, you brought it up, like being
Yeah,
traumatized, but this is good.
it's
Okay,
good
my
on
mood is
her.
lifted again
Woo!
after that trash hairstyle before. This one, again, not like terribly adventurous, to be
No.
clear. Um,
Mm-mm.
but well styled. We've got a good distribution of product. The shine is popping. The shape is there.
Shape
It's
is there.
kinky.
It's a nice shape for her jawline and
Oh, absolutely.
facial structure. I
And
think it
we've got some
highlights her.
body. I'm gonna go 7. We're back to 7s. I wouldn't
Okay.
say much higher than that from my end, but
All right. I'm gonna give it maybe a 7.5 just to
okay.
bump you up.
Okay. All
And I
right.
like that ever little slight sort of just a slight little curl. And what I want to
Mhm.
do is walk up to her and take my hands in her hair and just zhuzh it just a little.
I feel like
I'm sure
everybody
she'd
could have.
fully appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Like, get the
a
fuck away
welcomed
from me.
thing.
It's like, let
Nut.
me just but yeah, okay. Well, we're ending on a high note, gang. Because it was tough for a second there. Okay. Moving on.
Yeah.
As always, we've got top stories that you need to know about. This one, you tell me that you've got feelings about this. The concept is manifesting a Birkin. Apparently,
Yes.
there's a witch for that. What the hell is this about?
Okay, Jeff, have you heard of the brand Sage and Salt?
Never in my life. What do we
Okay,
got?
well, it's been a brand, it's been around for 13 years, and their founder is a self-defined intuitive strategist,
Mm,
Corbin Chamberlain. He's also a sought-after energetic healer. And I'm not so much talking about like, let's manifest the Birkin, like everyone wants one. Is it completely excessive and not needed? Totally,
for sure.
right? I mean, but it's out there, it's out there. But I want to talk a little bit more about manifesting and how do you become a self-defined intuitive strategist
Hmm.
and an energetic healer?
I think you've revealed the answer. Self-defined.
But here's
I'm
the
I
thing.
am an intuitive strategist, Kelly,
I'm
because
going
I
to add
say
that to my
so.
title.
Yeah,
But
why
here's the
not,
thing.
comma.
Do you believe in if you
Manifestation.
yeah, I mean if you like put it out there, you say it like it's in your subconscious, it's rooted in there. Like, do you believe that something can happen from that?
I don't know, because I've been manifesting some things that haven't happened. Um,
Oh, I don't like that for you.
yeah, I know, I know. I don't like that for any of us. Um, I think there's some I think there's something to it. I would not
Yeah.
discount it for sure. I don't necessarily believe in like what was that book like The Key or what like The Secret
Yeah.
like that
Yeah, the
I get
secret.
it. I get
Yeah.
it. But I think like there's a certain amount of like you've got to be positive to sort of move through life.
Uh-huh.
But yeah,
Yes.
and you sort of create your luck as you go kind of thing.
Right.
But I would say I don't have a strong association with like I manifested something and it's come to fruition. How about
Okay.
you? How about you?
I think the word manifest is kind of intense, but I do believe that if you put something out there, you put your energy towards it, and most importantly, have an incredibly positive energy and aura and are generous, I do fully believe that that comes back around in a positive way with every ounce of my soul.
Okay. Well, I love that. I like legit. I don't mean to sound glib. I love that, and I think like
Uh-huh.
yeah, we could all stand to be more generous. So like, why?
For
What's
sure.
the harm, gang? But no, I won't be manifesting a Birkin. I'm trying to manifest other things, and we'll leave
Okay.
it at
I
that.
kind of want to know
No,
what
no,
they
no,
are,
not
but
no. I don't want to. I don't want to
you got to
poison.
put
I
it
feel like
out
it's not
there.
worked out.
Okay.
Um, related topic.
Mhm.
This is something that we saw from Allure, and
Yeah.
I think as they're wont to do. The article is why astrologers say late May is the best time for a drastic haircut. And we've got a spoiler, which is that our very own senior digital producer did this very thing.
Hmm.
I don't know if it was like an astrologically aligned decision.
We should inquire
Mm,
about that.
call a friend. But she went ahead and did it, and the hair
Yeah.
looks great. So, I mean, maybe this should be the sign for all of us to embrace a drastic haircut if we're so inclined. If you want to go, sort of like if you're manifesting it for yourself, embrace it.
Yeah. Do it. This is your sign. If you've been manifesting it, here, let us give you that one. Here you go. There you
Yeah.
go.
Are you looking to do a
No,
drastic? No,
absolutely,
no, no.
absolutely not.
That's why I qualified it with
No.
like if you want to
Mm-mm.
do it. This is that for you. I think I'm gonna get past NAHA. Although I feel like if you want to do something drastic, NAHA red
You should do
carpet.
it before then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, we're going back and forth about that. We'll see. We'll see.
Oh,
Yeah, there's still time before, so maybe by the time
indeed.
this episode airs, it's more drastic. All right. Well, let's be done with that.
All right, we're done. But we have an incredible interview. This week, I'm talking with David Dupal. David is a renowned salon owner and visionary educator with over 35 years at the helm of Dupal Studio. A respected force in the pro beauty industry, he spent 3 decades, now that's dedication, as a matrix educator, mentor, stage artist, and brand ambassador, shaping the next generation of colorists and stylists across North America. Currently, he serves as the director of education at CLICS, helping to drive innovation in digital hair color technology. And we get into it.
Now it's time for a segment, If They Were a Hairstyle. Every week, we'll ask the host who interviewed this week's guest what hairstyle the guest would be based on their personality. In the episode, Kelly, obviously, you interviewed David. So, what hairstyle do you think he would
Yeah.
be?
So I got it out of him that he's really zones in on indie chill music. And so I'm
Oh,
thinking that he just might be kind of a loose boho long braid with maybe some, I don't know, feathers in it.
wow.
David,
Wow,
I
you're
hope
painting a
you like
picture.
that. I hope you like that. It's the
Um,
vibe. It's the indie chill. And I was like, do it, man. Let's go.
okay.
Let's
Okay.
go.
All right. Well, I gotta listen to this interview and see if I agree. But I like you that's very specific. So I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to this.
Make sure that you subscribe, rate, and review, and follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok at Read the Tease, and send in questions to volume up at thetease.com.
Before we get to the interview, let's talk Tease beauty news. This story near and dear to my heart as a hardcore Bravo fan. The article is called Dolores Catania's Hairstylist Kevin Kelly on Nailing a Traitorous Look. If you've just finished spending weeks watching season 3 of The Traitors, you are not alone. One of the standout personalities from the entertaining season was Dolores Catania, reality TV icon known for her fashion and fun on The Real Housewives of New Jersey, RIP. It's no longer.
Yeek.
We'll see. The celebrity hairstylist and extension expert behind her gorgeous curls is none other than Kevin Kelly. From Bethany Frankel to Megan Trainor, his clientele is star-studded. The Tease had the pleasure of speaking with Kevin about working with Dolores, clients over 50, and his best hair extension tips. Head to thetease.com to read on Kelly. Did you watch this season of The Traders? Of
No,
Traders, not The
no,
Traders.
I didn't. I think I need to
No.
put this on my list. Did you? And
Incredible. I'm
oh,
obsessed. I'm obsessed.
all
The
right.
unlikely pairings, the crossovers between
Wow.
Bravo and other reality stuff. It's exactly what I'm about. But I love to see Dolores on my TV. She is the hero of Real Housewives of New Jersey, which I hate. New Jersey is probably my least favorite of the Real
Really?
Housewives franchise.
All right.
So I'm not sad that it's gone, but I am sad that Dolores is not on my screen. So this was a welcome surprise, and I loved learning about her hair. So there's that.
Great. All right, next up, we're celebrating pop culture through nail art. WonderCon 2025 took over the Anaheim Convention Center in March, bringing together fans of comics, sci-fi, fantasy, and pop culture for an unforgettable weekend. From exclusive panels and celeb appearances to an expansive exhibit hall filled with collectibles, WonderCon is the perfect place to celebrate creativity in all its form, and I'm sure it is. Glossary Live believes that nail art is one of the most exciting ways to express passion for pop culture. And as a leading nail education platform, they are celebrating this incredible event by showcasing hand painted masterpieces from talented nail artists around the world. These stunning designs bring beloved superheroes to life with precision, artistry, and dedication. Head to thetease.com to check out some of the favorites. Jeff, this is incredible. I'm going to pop off topic. If you were at WonderCon, and you
Yes.
could purchase any collectible, what would it be?
Hmm. I feel like this probably superhero. Like I'm gonna assume that there's some Buffy the Vampire Slayer people
Oh
in the
God.
crowd, in which
Yeah,
case
there
that's
is.
what I'd be going for.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. You
Solid
asked.
answer.
That's what it is. I'm trying to think of. I mean, there's still time before NAHA. Do I want to do something crazy with my nails, or do I just want to do
Yeah,
a
you should.
collectible? So that's what I'm sort of contemplating. Maybe if you hear this before NAHA, get in touch. Let me know.
Oh, love.
All right. Thank you so much to our contributors and our editors for this week's beauty news. Don't forget to check out more stories like these over on thetease.com.
Now stay tuned for my interview with David. David Dupal is a renowned salon owner and visionary educator with over 35 years at the helm of Dupal Studios. A respected force in the pro beauty industry, he spent 3 decades as the Matrix educator, mentor, stage artist, and brand ambassador, shaping the next gen of colorists and stylists across North America. Currently, he serves as the director of education at CLICS, helping drive innovation in digital hair color technology. David's artistry and leadership have earned him top industry accolades, including Canadian Hairdresser Colorist of the Year, Makeover Artist of the Year, and co-creator for Dame's Academy Collection that won the esteemed North American Hairstyling Award. David continues to inspire through cutting-edge education and artistic excellence. This is going to be a good one. We're jumping into it. David, walk us through the early days of your career. What were they like?
So it's interesting. I actually joined the industry a little bit later than most. I was kind of like 26, 27 years old. I had taken a kind of change in careers. I was a stockbroker and financial advisor for 4 years prior to that, which was what I really wanted to do.
Wow.
Yeah, there was just something missing. Like, there was that creative element that just wasn't missing.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, if you get too creative being a stockbroker, you usually end up in jail. So,
Yeah,
so it
we
was
don't we
probably
want black and white there.
yeah, yeah. So I was probably better that I went to the hair side versus trying to be creative in that field. But it was a family business for me. So my parents had
Oh,
started the business many, many years earlier, like 1970 was when they
cool.
actually no, it was before 70. Anyway, it was a long time. And so I grew up in the hair industry, kind of helping shampoo, going through my, high school years and in the salon. But it's funny, it's one of those things you don't want to do what your parents do at that
For
age.
sure.
It's like,
Yeah.
no, 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 I'm not going to be a hairdresser. I mean, some people like to go that route, but for me, it was no, no, I'm doing something completely different. Of course, going into the financial field is you couldn't be more diametrically opposed as far as
For sure.
as far as careers are concerned. But like I said, I was missing something. So I remember one day I just went to my dad and said, hey, I said, I think I want to pursue hair. And I thought he was going to drop dead right then and there. But he was a little surprised. But anyway, so then I went to hairdressing school and my parents who were in the industry, my father was not a hairdresser. My mom was.
Okay.
My dad was very kind of analytical, very linear. My mom was all curves and creativity. So they made a great pair. You know, they really they complemented each other really well with that. So I think I got a little bit of both from each one of them. You know, I got the creative element from my mom, and I got more of the kind of business side from my dad. So
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm as strong as either one of them individually, but here, this is who I am. So it's just,
You're a good
it's the way it
mix.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So kind of, yeah. So I'm kind of them joined together, which is great. Yeah, so then I jumped into the salons, of course, and unfortunately, my dad had passed just as I got into the salons, and so then my mom and I ran the salons together for 8 years until
Okay.
before she passed.
Wow.
So and then, but it was interesting because I went to my first hair show, of course, as we all do when we're in hairdressing school. And I just got out of hairdressing school. I went to my first hair show, and I looked at one of these stages, and it's like, that's what I want to do.
Really?
Oh
Okay,
yeah,
that's awesome.
yeah. And within a year, I was educating, and
Wow.
so I tend to jump into things pretty quickly. Like if I go into something, I jump in with both feet. And there's no testing the waters. Just like, let's go. And yeah, so I joined a major brand in the industry, Matrix, and I was there for
Yeah.
30 years. Um,
Wow.
yeah, so for 30 years, I was an educator, brand ambassador, trainer of the trainers, and mentor through the whole thing on both the US and Canadian teams. So because I actually do reside in Toronto,
Okay.
but for a good number of years, 95% of my work was US based and on the US team, and then I kind of filtered back to Canada before I left. So yeah.
And at that time, you had also opened Dupal Studio, correct? So talk to me about kind of that journey.
Yeah, the Dupal Studio was kind of an evolution because it really evolved from my parents' business. It was funny, like the original name was Dupal's House of Beauty, and then
Yes.
it morphed over a couple of years and different name changes, but always kept the name, the surname in the thing. But now Dupal Studio is really it's myself, and I've got a great kind of studio and loft space that I work on my own without assistance, and it's fantastic. It's just me, and
Wow. Okay.
but at one point I had a staff of 14 people,
Okay.
so it was, so I've kind of been through the kind of the larger and smaller
Yep.
kind of now to one-off type things. So it's almost like I've got my own studio suite, and like I said, it's just myself and my clients, which I absolutely love, and it works well for me now because of my position with CLICS.
Right.
It allows me flexibility, which
Yeah.
is fantastic.
Absolutely. That's incredible. Let's talk a little bit about CLICS. So
Okay.
I'm sure that most people listening have heard of the brand, but talk to me as if I don't know what it is.
Okay. So let's assume that you're, a hairdresser colorist, and you're saying it's like, hey, what is this company? So we are a pure tone mixable color company married together with technology. So the best way to explain it is if you were to go into a Benjamin Moore store or Home Depot,
Oh,
and
yeah.
you have the paint centers that are there
Mm-hmm.
where you pick your base of paint, and then they just put all the pure tones in it, and you create your beautiful shades for your bedroom or your office. Well, we are the hair color version of that. And so we only have 23 colors in our entire line. We only have 30 canisters actually
Huh.
totally, which
Wow.
includes, developers and treatments
Okay.
and lighteners. But as far as colors are concerned, there's only 23 of them. And so we have basically a unlimited, endless possibilities of color shades that we can create with those
Huh.
23 canisters.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
I know on your website it talks about the industry's first AI-enabled digital hair color studio. Where was the inspiration behind this? Obviously, AI is all we're talking about in the world right now.
Yeah.
You're totally ahead of the curve. Talk to me about that inspiration.
So really the concept was originally thought up by our president, Leilani Macedo, and she was a hair professional. She owned her own salon,
Okay.
which was an Aveda concept salon. And so the story goes that, she walked into her back room, which where all the color was, on a Saturday after a busy day, busy week, busy day. She had blown through $500 worth of inventory that she had just placed that in,
Yeah.
and walked back there, and it looked like it was a color explosion. There
Ugh.
was bowls that were, with color still in them, and, trying to figure out where $500 worth of inventory got used
Yeah.
that week. Now she has to reorder. So there was so many, just in that one episode that she experienced that day in the salon, there were so many challenges that needed to be resolved, and where we just live with them as salon professionals. We just say, well, that's
Yeah.
the way it is. We're going to waste color. We have to do ordering. We have to do all these things. And she basically said, "There's got to be a better solution," and that's what she sought to
Wow.
to achieve. So
That's
then
incredible.
so then she had to figure how to do this,
How
right?
to do it, right.
So going back to the AI side, she met her partner in crime, Charles Brown, who was so far removed from the hair industry. He is basically he's a tech geek, and he came from the military kind of military background, and he worked on this thing that you may have heard of called the internet.
Oh, yes, I remember.
Yeah.
I remember when the internet started.
Yeah. And email, you may have heard of that one as well.
Yeah.
And so these were both military applications, which he actually was on the team that helped develop all of these things,
Wow.
bring it to to the military for use. And then, of course, it was then brought into private sector, and then just over the years he had developed many different companies in that field. So the roots from that side, on with our two co-founders, they call it the beauty and the geek, and
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, so you've got Leilani on the one side, the beauty side, and Charles is the geek side. So kind of a fun
Yeah,
phrase,
that's
but
great.
yeah. So then our company itself, though, if you look at the composition of our country, we're under 40 employees. Like
Oh, wow.
we're a small team, but we're mighty. We are way more on the tech side than we are on the creative side. Like hairdressers and creative side, we're a small group, like really tiny out of
Totally.
those 40. And
Yeah.
I would say, probably 4/5 of our company is all tech. And
Oh,
man,
wow. Okay.
yeah, there are some brilliant people in this company. It's just like, it just blows me away, when I'm on these calls. So
I'm sure. I mean, you've got kind of the initial brains behind parts of the internet and technology and email, totally ahead of the curve, and then totally ahead of the curve from a brand perspective now. How did you get involved with CLICS?
So it's interesting. It was presented to me by my, at the time, girlfriend, who's now my wife.
Oh.
And the two of us actually met years ago. We both worked for the Matrix brand.
Okay.
And so she was in a sales capacity. I was on the creative side. And I always joke that, she hired me. But she'll say she didn't. But anyway, we met years ago. I was doing some programs in her area, some stage work. And we just remained friends over all those years. And
Oh.
So anyway, so she was looking at potentially doing a change in her career.
Okay.
Somebody had presented an opportunity with CLICS, and she showed it to me. And I'm telling you, Kelly, I looked at this and I said, "You'd be crazy not to follow this.
No way.
This is the future of hair. This is the future of hair
Wow.
color." Like and this was literally in about a 15-minute window where I just kind of went through a website. I saw what this is. I go, this is a no-brainer. Like, to not be involved in something like this, you'd be crazy not to jump on this. And I was still working in a creative capacity with Matrix at the time.
Yeah.
And I just said, you have to jump on this. Like, this is insane. Like, this is going to blow up, and it's going to turn the hair color industry on its head. And
Wow.
and that's what we've been doing. So she's the one who really kind of introduced me to it. And then, she joined up the company. She's now the VP of sales. She's executive VP in sales for our company.
Cool.
And she's also my boss. So
Oh, wow. Okay.
So she's my
So she's been the boss all along. She hired you, and now here we go.
Yeah, and if you ever meet her, you'll know exactly.
You'll understand why. I
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah.
That's great. How do you pitch CLICS to salons? Like, is this an uphill battle where you're like, hey, this is what this is. Here's how you need to switch over to this? Because I know conversion is hard, right? So
Oh my
how
gosh,
do you
yeah.
get there?
So that's a great question. You know, it's funny because salon owners, it's an easy sell.
Yeah.
It is a
Yeah.
really easy sell
Okay.
because there's so many positives from waste, you know, the reduction of waste,
For sure.
the simplification of the ordering process, which they don't have to do anymore. They literally do not ever have to put an order in. The inventory control that's all through there, everything, just the pay by dispense. Everything that's in there makes so much sense from a business standpoint,
Yeah.
but you hit it right on the head. Changing colors is hard. It's the hardest thing we ever
Yes.
have to do.
Yeah.
So we have a couple of things that we work with. Number one, we can match pretty much any color line out there because we're pure tone.
Wow. Okay. That's
Everything,
interesting.
and we on our app we actually have competitive our versions of competitive formulas in the app that you can
Wow.
use as a conversion. So if you had a L'Oreal color or a Matrix color or a gold or Redken color, and I mean, and we're populating this, you know, every day, every week, every month. There's more and more and more of these conversions that are on our app.
Cool.
But because we are pure tone, you can really tweak and make whatever color you want. And
Huh.
so that's kind of the confidence that we instill in our people. Like if you are using this color brand, not a problem. We can train you to get to be able to match all those colors. Because really it's as simple as primary, secondary, and tertiary colors.
Yeah. That's interesting when you break it down that way. And also very non-intimidating when you're like, hey, if you are using said color brand, here is our version of that. How spot on is that version?
So now let's go back to the AI. It
Yeah.
is a computer's iteration of that
Sure.
color.
Yeah.
And so you do still have to, like, we have a swatching program where we allow our salons to swatch out any formula
Okay.
and we don't charge them for it. So we
Oh,
don't charge
wow.
them for the color. So that's, which is an industry first. Like nobody has the business model to be able to do that.
Huh.
So we say to them, okay, for example, let's say you've got this Redken shade and you want to do it. Well, here's our version of it. Put it on a swatch. If that looks like
Ah,
the color that you want to do, then beautiful, go for it. You know, AI is still developing in the hair color world.
sure.
So is it an exact science? Not yet. But the great thing about AI is it's continually improving. And the
Right.
more data we feed into it, the
Yeah.
better it becomes. And it's kind of scary. Like when you think about how, and
I know. Yeah.
you see all these
Yep.
movies, right? Where the AI all of a sudden the robot becomes, you know,
Yeah.
more human than the humans, you know? So, and that's the reality. So our AI today is so much stronger and accurate than it
Right.
was 6 months or even a year ago.
Sure.
So some of them are bang on, some of them have, you know, little tweaks, but the great thing
Yeah.
about our line is because we're pure tone, you can make those tweaks and those adjustments so
Easily.
easily. Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
What does the CLICS color bar look like? Like, what's the setup in the salon?
Oh my gosh. So think about, I was traditional, right?
Yeah.
Where I had
Okay. You're like,
100,
yeah.
180 tubes of color and two of each. And
Yes.
then so I had two permanent color lines. I had a demi-permanent color
Oh,
line. I
wow.
had toners. So you know, you had the typical wall of color
Yeah.
tubes. My inventory right now is down to 1/4 of that,
Wow.
like literally 1/4, maybe even less. So they're basically canisters
Okay.
that we use to dispense. Our dispenser is right there. That's one of them.
Okay.
That's our 35. So that's the dispenser. That's the size of it. So I suggest, as you know, when I go into a salon, I say put it in the middle of the floor. Like put it right in the
Yeah.
middle of your floor. Let your clients see it. Let them get excited about it. Let them see their name and lights and how that they've got this custom color that's made for them
That's
and get them
so
excited
cool.
about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the the space savings that you have is huge. So
Right.
literally you're reducing your footprint by probably 75%.
Wow. I love the
Mhm.
thought of it being a conversation topic too. It's like, wait, what are you doing? Like, why does that say my name? And what's coming out is just for me? Because a lot of
Yeah.
times we as clients, we don't see the mixing of the color and we don't see the science and technology, right
Yeah.
behind what's
Yeah.
happening. So
Yeah.
I love that thought. How does it know how to essentially dispense how much color based on the client's like unique texture, type, length, density? How do you figure that all out with clicks?
Right now, the one of the defaults is based off of a questionnaire a hair
Okay.
profile that we do. So you've got the client's density, they've got their
Ah,
coarseness, you've got the length,
okay.
all that kind of stuff. So right now, it is evolving, but the one default that is in the system right now is based off of hair length.
Okay.
So if it's a
Okay.
pixie versus a mid-length back, obviously there's going to be different amounts of color that are defaulted. But that's really only a default, because once you go in there, if it's just a retouch, it doesn't matter whether it's a pixie or hairs halfway
Sure.
down your back. A
Yeah.
retouch is a retouch, right? It's
Yep.
still only, half an inch, and it's the same amount of color to use. So there are defaults there. And then as we are evolving as well, we're making some of those hair profile selections more intuitive and starting to learn
Okay.
to be able to add more of these defaults in there. So if somebody has, much thicker hair, that the default would also, react to that as well, to give you a little bit
Okay.
more color, that kind of stuff. So
That's super interesting. So we've got all of our bases covered. Am I missing anything else from that perspective, from a technology standpoint that you've sort of revolutionized?
yeah, I mean, there's so many parts to this, because the even like, for example, the accuracy and being able to repeat color is so
Okay.
important. So many formulation mistakes. There's a couple of reasons for formulation mistakes. One of them is because you just run out of color, which
Hmm.
will never happen. We always strive to have 3 weeks worth of inventory in the salon at all times. And when you come down to a certain threshold, we automatically send you out more
Okay.
color. So you've always got that 3 weeks of inventory in hand. So you won't have any issues in saying, well, I out of 5N, so now I have to mix
Oh,
a
I have
four and a,
to,
yeah, now
right.
I have to mix a 4 and a 6 together. Most
Okay.
hairdressers don't realize that mixing equal parts of a 4N and 6N don't give you a 5N. It
Nah.
actually gives you, right? You have to actually go 1/3 of 4N, 2/3 of 6N, and to make a 5N, because the darker shade is more dominant than the lighter shade. And
Okay.
so these are all things that we figured out. So there's one way of
Yeah.
being able to do that. The other thing is, imagine, you have to mix up a little bit more color, and you're using 2 or 3 different, color tubes, for example, if you were in a more traditional sense. Well, now you've mixed up, let's say, 100 grams of color, and you've used, half of this tube, a quarter of this tube, and a quarter of this tube, and then, maybe an eighth of this tube. Well, imagine trying to do the math in saying,
Oh,
well, I just need a little bit more, right?
eek. Yeah.
Right. And I tell you, it's the one thing that hairdressers are not super great at is, fractions and math, right?
Yeah.
So, they're so incredibly talented creatively, but it's left brain versus right brain.
Yeah.
They think on a creative standpoint, doing fractions and stuff like that, typically it's not their forte. So
Sure.
what they end up doing is over dispensing,
Okay.
because now they can figure out next, putting that in half, but can you go into a quarter or a third
Right.
of all that stuff,
Of all
right?
the
Which is,
different,
even it's challenging even for me, and I've got, financial background, so this dispenser is accurate to 1/10 of a gram. It does all of the,
wow.
so if you mix 100 grams and you run out and you only need another 10 grams, it will accurately dispense perfectly and to the right proportions to 1/10 of a gram, which is
Wow.
ridiculous.
I
So
mean, absolutely. And talk about, more floor space you mentioned because of the machine, but then also so much less waste, right?
huge.
I
Yeah.
mean,
22 to 30% of a salon's
wow.
color cost goes down the drain or into the waste basket. Seriously.
It's a big percentage.
So huge, huge. And
Yeah.
you think, like, those are thousands of dollars every year
Yeah.
that are being down. And the thing is, in our industry, the salon owner is aware of that and it's very
Yeah.
conscious of it. But really,
But
the colorists aren't, because they're not paying for it typically.
right.
It's like, somebody else is paying that bill.
Shoot, mix too much. Yeah.
Right.
Okay, so for people who are apprehensive about AI, because we've got the
Mhm.
lovers and the haters, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely.
How would you say that CLICS supports or enhances our creative colorists out there?
it's funny because people actually, it's such a great statement because so many people think, oh my gosh, it's a machine taking over my color
My
world,
job. Yeah.
my
Right.
job. And it's actually quite the opposite. It's actually taking our CEO, Charles, loves to use this term, is actually taking the handcuffs off of the colorist. Because what's happening now is, I'll give you an example. We just did a collection. We just did a brand shoot. And the Pantone company had just come out with their shades for this year. Within days, we had the Pantone shades
No way.
to use. So we used white grape, we used mocha mousse, we used crocus, we used rum raisin, all four of those for our brand shoot. And we
Wow.
literally developed those instantaneously. Any other color line, you have to wait for them to come out with that shade or that tube
For sure.
if they feel that it's appropriate and they can sell. For us, we turn it on like that within, like I said, within days, and we were turning it into a brand shoot and done. So
Wow.
the creativity is endless, right? Your imagination is really holding you back. So it
Yeah.
actually allows more creativity versus removing it.
Okay. What about those who are like not tech savvy, not going to do it?
Mhm.
How do we dispel that myth?
Well, if you own or use a smartphone, you can use our system. It's as simple as that.
Yep. That's pretty good. Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, are there a few people out there that don't own smartphones? Absolutely, there are. And maybe we're not the system for them,
Yeah.
but you tell me, how many hairstylists right now don't own a smartphone? I mean, I would say it's
Yeah.
probably like 90,
Yeah.
98%. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
For sure. Okay, I know stylists and colorists can also be specific about the brands they use. So if someone's
Mhm.
been using another color brand for years, how do you have that conversation about converting them? Again, we're back to that conversion discussion.
Yeah. I think you know what it is, Kelly. It's all about education, right? I mean, education
Yeah.
is obviously very near and dear to my heart. We spend 2 days in salon, and we ask them, "You got to shut down for 2 days. No taking
Okay.
clients in between. We 2 days." So one of the days is all is basically on color theory and the app. Their next day is all swatching. Like we will literally swatch over 100
Wow.
over 100 different formulas with the staff. So what we're doing is we're getting them to think like I think,
Yeah.
in the color world and creating colors. So the goal is to say, hey, give me your 3 favorite colors in the line that you're using right now.
Okay.
Let's swatch those out. And we're going
Huh.
to spend today matching all 3 of those colors. So we got to bang on. So you know that when I leave here today and you're doing your colors tomorrow, that you're going to have 3 of your favorite formulas. And just the process of doing that gets them to understand how our color system works, how they can take at this point in our app, we have 321 pre-formulated colors that they
Wow.
can use. So just think about 321 color
Yeah.
tubes, right? So
Jeez.
right now
Yeah.
they have 321 color tubes that they can use in our system and say, one of them is going to be pretty close to your favorite color.
Okay.
So, but
Okay.
what we will do is we'll take it and we'll match up and say, hey, this one's close. So, and then tweak it. Put a little bit
Okay.
more red, put a little more red orange to it, put a little more red violet to it, or maybe put a little bit of blue green to it. So all these types of things, and that's our process, is to educate them and to show them how to create all these colors. And then for the ones that are really adventurous, they can go off on their own and
Yeah.
develop right from scratch if they want to.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to double click into some more of the technology. So, can stylists achieve a demi-permanent result with clicks, or is it more focused on permanent color?
Okay. So remember I said we had 321 shades?
Yes.
That's
Mhm.
actually times 3
Okay.
because every one of those shades comes out as a permanent. But we have what's called a pH reducer, which
Oh,
takes the pH level of that permanent color and then drops it down to a demi, and then adds a little bit
wow.
more, and then drops it to a toner. So really, we
Jeez.
have over 960 shades of
Wow.
permanent, demi-permanent, and toner, and that's just what we have today. You
Wow.
know, by the end of the year, we could be well over 400. And so the great thing is all those shades are put into subcategories. So warm tones, cool tones, gray coverage, right? Just in gray coverage, we have 40 gray coverage shades for
Wow.
50% gray hair or more. Yeah.
Okay, what about lift? How many levels of lift can clicks achieve?
We are just three, I say 3 levels plus. So
Okay.
depending, and as you probably know, hair texture and coarseness has a huge impact on
Yeah.
how much hair will lift. So I say 3+ because if you have somebody who's got super fine hair, you might get like 3.25, 3.5 levels of lift, but it's pretty rare that you're gonna be able to. So we say safely 3 levels of lift.
Okay.
And because we are MEA based versus ammonia, MEA tends to be a little bit less aggressive. So typically, color companies that use MEA versus ammonia, it's really, really tough to get 4 levels of full lift. However, I'm going to let you in on a little secret because we're actually working on something which people don't know yet. But we're actually developing to put into our line 1 tube of color, which will give us 4 full levels of lift, and it's going to be a high lift color, which is in there. So it has we don't have it quite yet, but I'm working with a chemist now. Myself and Leilani Macedo, the president, and I are working with a chemist right now who's formulating our line to get us make some little tweaks to it. So
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, a client comes into the salon and they're like, I liked what I did last time, but I need an adjustment. Like I want to switch it up a little bit. How flexible are those changes with the system and the technology?
Great question, because let's say a client comes in, I don't know, they're a level 7 warm neutral, right?
Okay.
And it's like, I want to be just that half level or even a full level lighter. I can make that adjustment in about 30 seconds.
Jeez.
Yeah, just going on the app, I take, and all the components, when you open the app up, all the components are there of the color. So, if it's a level 7 base, I can just remove the level 7, replace that with a 7.5 or an 8, and keep all the pure tone components the same if I want to, or adjust those if I need to. But it's about a 30-second exercise to do that. And again, everything's perfectly calibrated.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Yeah.
Okay, now I've got a color correction. All right, somebody comes in and we know those can be maybe a nightmare, I don't know, or an exciting challenge. How does CLICS help the stylist basically tackle those services and be super confident about it?
Yeah, so interesting when you're into color corrective work, which people salons can make a lot of money in specializing in corrective color, and really it's all about the pure tone, because with our color line you have so much control over those pure tones, and essentially corrective work you usually have to be able to adjust to fill what's missing in the hair. So if you have somebody, for example, who has been over lightened, or they have to have color removed because the color didn't turn out, you always have to replace what's missing. And it's harder to do when you're working with a pre-formulated color because you don't have control of the pure tones. For us, what we can do, right, is with us, we can adjust and add as much like warmer tone to the hair as we want to. So if it's a red, because we have the primary, secondaries, and tertiaries. So if you're a level 4, your primary tone in there is a red. So we can add more red. If you're a level 7, it's an orange. So we can add more orange to it. If you're a level 9, it's gold, and we can add more gold to it. So these are all things that we can do and tweak infinitely. So it really actually for the creative, so not the creative, for the technical corrective colorist or technical colorist that's looking for that control, they have complete control over that. So
that's incredible. What a system. I mean, wow.
Oh my gosh. It's made me, it's made me a better colorist.
Yeah.
It really has. It's as of all the things that I've done in my career, awards and mentorships and ambassador color brands, all that kind of stuff. After using the CLICS system, it's actually made me a better colorist.
Huh. Wow.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. The last thing I want to touch on is, and we touched a little bit about it, 30% of the waste is going down the drain with a traditional salon and color. But talk to me about other types of materials that are involved in sort of minimizing waste in salons with CLICS.
So one of the biggest ways that we eliminate waste, aside from, there's a couple ways. One of them is when you are finished using your bowl. Let's say a client comes in for the first time, and my go-to is usually about 80 grams of color for a typical retouch. And, you know, plus or minus, if they have a lot of hair, like my wife, for example, I have to use 120 grams of color for her because she's got a mop of hair. But then you have somebody who has half of that, and then you're only using 50 or 60 grams. So my starting point's about 80 grams, and then I adjust from there. So if I mix the 80 grams and I have 65 grams that we're using, there's still 15 grams remaining in the bowl. The bowl goes back into the dispenser, and the bowl themselves has an RFID tag on it that assigns that bowl to that client until you use it for somebody else. So you put it back in, it reads it, and then adjusts the formula to correctly dispense the next time they come in.
Wow.
So really the first appointment is really the only time you're actually going to have excess if you do have excess.
Okay.
And then it gets adjusted from there. The great thing is though, when they come back in, let's say they missed their appointment and they're 2 weeks later, you can always readjust that amount and put it back up to a higher amount if they have more new growth than you expect.
Okay.
And then there's also a feature called More, which I think we kind of touched on. So you mix 80 grams of color, they need another 20 grams. We have this button, and literally just with 2 taps, go onto your system, you hit More, give me another 20 grams, you put your bowl back in there, it dispenses it, and you've got 20 grams of color perfectly calibrated. And so, you know, you don't have to, and that's what happens is stylists tend to overmix because they don't want to add
run
more,
out, right?
They don't want, they don't want to run out. So they end up getting to, again, they don't care, they don't pay for it. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, last question before we get to what we call the T's quick takes, which are going to be fun.
Okay.
How has CLICS changed the future of hair color?
They've changed it because they've introduced AI, you know, and all this technology, right? So you've got now, we actually had somebody looking at our business model, and it was a professional color company. And when we told them that, you know, we're going to reduce 22 to 30% of waste, they actually said, well, how are we going to replace that in our sales? They were actually okay with the waste because they were making money off of it.
No way.
So how's it changing our color industry? Huge. I mean, CLICS is really turning the color industry on its head. And because you're marrying technology with it, you are streamlining the entire business model of hair color from, you know, paying, not having to pay up front for your inventory. I mean, when I took my existing color and moved over to CLICS, I had $5,000 in inventory sitting on my shelf, of which 20% of that was used maybe once a year. Like how often you pull, I mean, for my salon, you know, 1N was, I hardly used it. So a lot of times the color tubes will go stale dated, or, you know, a color company comes out with, I don't know, they come out with a color that just doesn't take. And it's like, well, I don't, you know, I don't use, you know, I don't use ash green, you know, it's like, or whatever, or, you know, and that kind of stuff. It's one of those tubes I don't, so I ended up having probably 6 or 8 tubes of color that I used once, and it's like, oh, I hate this color. You know, we're at, so there's all that part of it. We only have 23 candidates, and we can't do without less than that because we need all 23 of those to create the entire spectrum of color that we have. So in that, when we give you the inventory, instead of making you pay $5,000 for all your inventory, we say, here's the inventory. We're not going to charge you for it.
Oh, wow.
You do not pay for any of the inventory you have on your shelf. You pay when it gets dispensed. So right from day one, salons are cash flow positive. So they've actually received money from their customers before they've even paid for their color, because the customer pays when they leave. You don't get charged till the end of the day for your color. So you've actually had it in your bank account before you even get charged for it. So it's pretty cool. So that's one of the ways. So the inventory control, you're eliminating the need for, you know, thousands of dollars being held up in inventory because of that pay by dispense. And it's interesting. We've had several executives from other brands that basically have admitted that the future of hair color is mixable pure tone hair color.
Wow.
Right.
All right. There you go.
Yeah.
Enough said on that.
Yeah.
Where can people find CLICS? Your website, Instagram. Tell me about that.
All of that we've so clicks so social media clicks colors, so
Okay.
CLICS clicks
Okay.
colors for social media, and then for a website, of course, just look up clicks, and everything we do, everything in house. We don't go through any distributorship. We're all
Okay.
we're all together, well with one, so we don't have any salesperson that's going to come into your salon and say,
Okay.
hey, buy this, buy this, buy this. Like I said, we only have 30 products, 30 SKUs,
Yeah.
and
Nice.
that's it, right? And so, it's a pretty simple, pretty
Yeah.
condensed line. And not to say that in the future that we may not have, other products, but at this point, 30 products is all we have.
Yeah.
And that's what goes in the dispenser. So it's so they can come on, we can provide, some demos for them of some sort. We can do different things, but yeah, it raises a lot of eyebrows. And when we're sitting at one of the shows, like we'll be at Orlando coming up at Premiere the end of May, beginning of June. We were at ABS, and then people are looking at this going, wow, like how did this not get developed sooner? So
I mean, it's a category disruptor, and those are the ones that you're always like, why didn't I think of that? Why didn't I think of that? Right? Amazing. It's really incredible. Thank you for sharing all that. Now, a little bit about you.
Okay.
We're gonna move on to the tease quick take. So the first question I have for you is, what is the craziest styling request you've ever received from a celeb, a client, anyone out there?
Craziest request. I mean, it's got to be like I had a young lady come into my salon, and she just pulled something off the internet, and it was just like this cosmic meld of metallic colors and like rainbows, and it's like, oh my gosh. And at first I go, you really want that?
It's like, is this good? Like, we like this.
Yeah, it's like, all right, and then that's what you want, I mean, you can do it. But yeah, so it's funny what people pull off the internet, and it's like, oh, this is cool. And it's like, yeah, I guess. But it's like, yeah, okay.
All right, cosmic colors. Okay, what is your go-to song, playlist, podcast when you're like in the zone working?
Oh, so I love indie chill music.
Oh, okay.
So just kind of that really cool kind of dinner nightclub vibe.
Yeah.
And it just, I don't know what, it usually has a really good beat. There's no news, there's no, swear words that, are offending clients, and, nobody's hitting on this. And, so it's just, to me, it's just good music, got a good beat to it, but it's not obnoxious, and so indie chill, probably.
Indie chill.
Yeah.
All right. What is one bucket list item that you want to check off in the next 6 months or year?
Be in every salon in the United States.
Woo! All right. You knew what that was coming at. You didn't even have to think about that.
No, I'm kidding. Geez, bucket list, huh? That's interesting. So yeah, I would definitely, so being Canadian, I've spent a lot of time in the US. My wife is American. We actually go back and forth between Michigan and Toronto.
Oh, lovely.
So we spend a lot of time together, but we also spend a lot of time apart. I'd love to see every state. I'd like to, and there's still a few that are on my checklist. I don't know if I'll get it done in 6 months, but that would be cool if I could.
All right, dang.
Which means we have to put dispensers in those states.
Yeah, right. It's a major indie chill road trip.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
All right. What is one current social media trend that you just don't understand? Just don't get it. Don't like it. Don't want to see it.
Oh, I'm going to get murdered for this one. Influencers.
Woo! That's a hot take.
Oh my gosh. So I'm kind of painting them all with the same brush. And for them, there's some great influencers out there, and but you know what? There's no brand loyalty with influencers, and that really kind of eats it at me because you
were loyal for 35 years, right?
Seriously, right?
Yeah.
I was with the same brand for all those years. I mean, I bled the colors of that color company, and I do that now with CLICS. And I'm not one to jump ship. And again, this is not all influencers, but they seriously, they just like, who's going to give me my money this week?
I know.
And so I get it. I understand how, people will follow them,
Yeah,
but I don't understand how they give them so much cred, and it's
fair
like,
point. Mhm.
you're gonna use this color this week and it's the greatest thing. And the next week you're gonna go to another company. It's like, oh no, this is the greatest color. And we saw one influencer that literally was doing home color. And then she wanted us to
Oh,
hire her. I'm thinking, how can I
no.
hire an influencer that's touting home color that just came in and out of a box, started doing her own stuff? It's like, yeah, no, I can't do that. So
No.
it's a super hot topic, right?
Yeah.
And as you said, and I don't want to paint them all with the same brush, because there's some
Right.
great ones, and some of them are, friends of mine and industry people that I think are phenomenal,
Yeah.
that do have brand loyalty.
I love
But
that.
for so
Um,
many of them, they don't. And those are the ones that I look at, it's like, how can you
yeah.
charge, pay them this kind of money when there's zero loyalty there.
Yeah. I mean, it's a hot take and it's a real take. I mean, it's true. And you
Mhm.
wonder, when is that ship going to sail? We'll see.
Yeah.
Uh,
Unfortunately, it's been around for a bit. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, last one. If you could have an unlimited supply of one thing for the rest of your life, what would you pick?
Man. You're talking hair in the
Yeah,
hair
let's
world?
talk about hair. Yeah, in the hair
Yeah.
world.
Great clients. Like really,
Oh,
really, really great
oh.
clients.
Okay.
I still spend 2 days a week behind the chair. I think it's
Okay.
important for somebody in my position to do that, because I want to experience everything that our customer base is experiencing. If there's a problem, I want to know it and touch it and feel it and be able to resolve it, instead
Yeah.
of hearing from somebody what their challenge is. I want to be able to
Okay.
experience that. So I'm really, I love my clients. I really do. And that's all, it would just be just to have like just great clients, for the rest of my hair career, and be able to just chill with them. And I want people that I
Have
want to
fun.
hang out with.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. Well, this has been quite a treat. Thank you so
Thank
much for
you.
your time. It was
Thank
great to
you.
get to know more about CLICS. Holy smokes. If you're a salon
Yeah.
out there, you better be checking this out.
Right.
Get a hold of David, go on the website, hit him up on social, because this is absolutely incredible technology.
Yeah. We just, we really are out there to help the industry, in any way we can. And like I said, it's turned a lot of heads.
I'm sure.
And so we're, like I said, we're a small and mighty team, and changing the hair color world, one salon at a time. So
Woo! Love that. All
yeah.
right. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Kelly.
All right, Jeff, we're melding tech and beauty. I loved the whole beauty and the geek reference at the beginning, but I mean, we're talking AI, and some people are jumping on the bandwagon, some aren't. But CLICS is truly revolutionizing the color business, and this was a fantastic interview, if I do say so myself.
I was going to say humble brag, but no, I agree actually. So kudos.
All right. Be sure to hit subscribe, rate, and review, and follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok at Read the Tease, and send in questions to volumeup@thetease.com.
Volume Up is a Tease Media production. This episode was produced by Monica Hickey and Madeline Hickey. James Arbache is our editor and audio engineer. Thank you to our creative team for the custom Volume Up theme song and for putting together the graphics and videos for this episode.